Okay, hello and welcome to the Ultimate Lead Page Challenge, Day 3. We are going to be talking about compelling copy today. And again, this is Sherry Anderson, and I'm going to be teaching you guys everything that I know about compelling copy for your lead page so that we can get conversions and get people opting into your amazing freebies that you guys are working on and creating. So let's get going here today. Okay, so here's what you're going to learn today. You're going to learn how to write compelling copy for your lead page, the various copy that should go on your lead page, and we'll be talking about how much should go on your lead page, because how much is too much copy on that lead page. And again, the crucial relationship between your copy and your ideal client. You're probably going to get tired of hearing me say everything that you do has to be focused on your ideal client, so you have to have that person identified. So what is compelling copy? It's content that speaks directly to your ideal client, is consistent throughout your entire sales funnel, and causes your ideal client to take action. And here's the thing, your content just doesn't stand alone and only on your sales page. It's actually a combination of what's on your sales page, but also the copy that comes before before your lead page, but it's the copy that comes before the lead page also, because it has to be consistent. Because if people read something, like let's say you write a post for like a Facebook group or something like that, and they read it and then they click on it and they get to your lead page and it says something different, they call it a scent. And so if you don't have the same scent, if it doesn't look right or doesn't sound the same, and there's a disconnect, people won't take action. So you want to make sure that you have consistency in the terms that you're using, the words that you use in your copy, so that people feel like, okay, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be and it makes sense. So for the best results, your lead page copy should pique the interest of your ideal client by describing your lead magnet in terms they can both appreciate and understand. Like I said, it's always important to use their terminology and the way that they would speak it, or ways that they understand. We need to be as simple as possible. No complex thoughts or ideas. We don't want to get too wordy, and usually less is best. And your compelling copy, it should also connect you as a point of authority to the problem or goal on your client's mind. And clearly reveal the value of opting in to receive your lead magnet and compel them to take action. We want them to really understand the value that they're getting from your lead magnet that you're using. So also, your compelling copy, it creates a sense of urgency without going negative. So we don't want to use any negative type terms in our copy that necessarily might not make them feel the best. I think there's a lot of people that it's one thing to address the problem, but you always want to end with something more positive. And addressing the problem isn't going negative, but you want to stay away from a lot of negative words. And then also, your copy should not be a book. I'm not saying that your lead magnet shouldn't be a book, but your copy should not be like long paragraphs. You want to make sure that you use bullet points to naturally divide long sections. And like I said before, following the less is best model is a general rule of thumb. Because a lot of times when you get to these lead pages, I've seen people who have done split tests, like let's say someone had an ebook, and actually they took their ebook and all they put on the lead page was a pretty picture with the title of their book and then the opt-in button, and that was it. And then they had another lead page where they did a split test where they had the same exact setup, but underneath they put bullet points talking about each section that people would be learning about in their ebook. And you would think that that would be beneficial, but it actually did worse than the one without the bullet points. So sometimes giving them just the title of an ebook or a title of the lead magnet that you're going with, sometimes that's enough. It just depends on the lead magnet. And that's something that you have to think about and consider and really determine what would be best for your ideal client. And every situation is unique. And then your compelling copy should convince your ideal client to take action without giving them the impression that they're being sold to. So if they feel like they're being sold to, they're likely not your ideal client. And we can't please everybody, and that's just a simple fact. So your lead page should contain up to 3 different sections. You have like your introduction. So you have your headline, and then sometimes you might have like your introduction or tagline that might go with it. And that introduces your lead magnet and states your value proposition. And then you may have a body which provides the specific details on your lead magnet and reinforces your value proposition. So this is where you would have your bullet point list. And what I found in the research that I've seen and I've read up on, it's best to have, you don't want to have too many bullet points. You usually want to limit them to about 5 at the most. You can have more if it makes sense, but the research shows that anything more than 5 usually doesn't convert as high. So if you can keep your bullet points to 5 or less, that's usually better. And then also you can have your bio or social proof with testimonials, which validates your expertise and why they should trust you and opt in for your freebie. So that's really the copy that should go on your lead page. There's, like I said, you can always add more and have more sections in the body part, but like I said, I found that less is best when it comes to your lead pages. And I think that reason why that might be is because it sort of leaves a sense of mystery to what they're actually getting, because it's like that intrigue, and they're wanting to find out the secret or the 3 things. And the headline, if the headline does its job, you don't really need a lot in the body, and you really may not even need a lot of the bio or social proof for people to opt in. Now, like I said before, your lead page components, we have our hot headline, our compelling copy, and our superior structure. That is what makes up a lead page that will convert high. And today we're talking all about the compelling copy, and tomorrow we're talking about the superior structure. So I'll actually be showing you a lot of examples tomorrow of how the pages should be laid out and what works and what doesn't work on some of those pages. Now, the benefits of having compelling copy is that it ensures your ideal client will read through your entire lead page. So once you have that information on there, whatever you put on there, if it's compelling, people are going to see it and they're going to want to learn more. So they'll just keep reading it if it's speaking to them and it's what they're dealing with right now. And it shows that you're in tune with the needs of your ideal client because you understand their problems and their goals. And it makes your ideal client feel like they're having a conversation, because the way your copy should be written in a way that either they're answering a question and saying yes, or they're reading a comment or a statement that you make and they're agreeing with it. So you want to always get that, when you write your copy, you want people to have that mindset of yes, yes, and they're always agreeing with what you're saying. And your compelling copy will transform you into a conversion king or queen. We have the conversion king little image over there, but we're all queens in here. So we're going to turn you ladies into some conversion queens. So how do you create this compelling copy? The first thing is that you need to determine the content sections of your lead that your lead page should have. So determine, okay, you have your hot headline. Now, do you need to add that introduction, that that tagline to what you've already written to sort of go in a little bit deeper? And then do you need to do even more describing and add that body with the bullet points to add that information. Is that necessary? Is that something that would draw attention to your ideal client and that they would be interested in learning more? And or do they need more of that social proof to hand over their email address? Because if your ideal client, some people's ideal clients are all about the social proof and all about the testimonies and like, can you really do what you say you can do? So depending on like I said, it really depends on the lead magnet, because testimonials and those types of things come in for usually a higher level lead magnets, like the level 2 or level 3, where they're opting into, maybe even mostly level 3, where they're opting into like live webinars, challenges, the things that they know they're going to be getting some in-depth teaching on. People sometimes will want those, bios or testimonials for that proof that you're really an expert at what you're going to be teaching on. Now, if you're going to have just like a level 1 checklist, you probably don't need your bio or testimonials on there for a checklist. But those are just things to consider. Now, you want to write out each section, ensuring that your message is consistent. Like I said before, your messaging is consistent all the way through your funnel. And if you need help, reach out and ask for help. If you need a copywriter to help review what you've written, there's no shame in getting the help to make sure that your copy is consistent throughout all of your products or throughout all of your funnel. And then you just need to make adjustments as required, because like I said, that comes back down to at the end where we're going to be talking about A/B split testing and being able to not be married to what we create the first time, because a lot of times our first lead page isn't the best lead page. We might love it and think it's the most wonderful thing in the world, but you put it out there and people give feedback, and then you just make adjustments to the copy, you make adjustments to feedback that you get from people who've been to your lead page. So your copy and your ideal client. Your copy is not only the most critical aspect of your lead page, it is also the most critical aspect of your sales funnel, because consistent, compelling content keeps your ideal client engaged and moving through your sales funnel. And it also allows you to make the relationship about both parties making a match, as opposed to you simply making a sale. Because we are all about making sure that we are getting and drawing those ideal clients and making that match. We don't want to sell or force our products or services on people and have them end up regretting the decision that they made to work with us. That's not the goal. We always want to make sure that we both come to an understanding and realize that, hey, I can help you, and that they realize that they need your help. And this will ultimately determine whether or not your ideal client makes the decision to become a paying client. So all throughout the way, the copy is what's really going to be drawing these ideal clients to you. So this image again, the copy is consistent all the way through, from when you create your offer, your branding and marketing, your lead page, magnet, the email sequence, the purchase page, until eventually they become your client. You want to make sure that your terminology is consistent throughout. And let me tell you, from your own perspective, you might even feel like you're a broken record, that you just keep saying the same stuff over and over and over again throughout your whole process. But that's what it takes for people to remember what you're saying, because people are so busy and just so distracted with everyday life that they need that consistent reminder, that consistent messaging, to where eventually it's going to stick and they're going to be like, oh, I remember what you do, and I remember what I need to get from you. But if you're all over the place in your copy, people won't know you for anything. So you have to make sure you have that consistent message all the way through. And then as you get more visible, people will already be expecting a certain message from you and know what your expertise is, so that if they see you somewhere on Facebook or online, that they will know, oh, well, like if they see me, they'll be like, oh, well, you're a business growth coach because, you know, you tell us how to grow our business in a smart way or whatever. That's what I would hope people would start remembering me for. And so whatever your thing is, you want people to remember you for that, that thing. And that content is what's going to allow people to build that relationship with them and remember you for that. So here's what we talked about today. We talked about how to write the compelling the copy for your lead page, the various copy that should go on your lead page, and the crucial relationship between your copy and your ideal client. And that way, like I said, we have those 3 parts of your copy, and then also, so you have your introduction, your body, and your bio or testimonials, you know, showing that you're an expert. So those are really the 3 parts. And depending on your ideal client, because we're always speaking to our ideal client, will determine how much copy needs to go on that lead page, and depending on what your lead magnet is. Like I said, the more basic level 1 lead magnets don't really need a lot of copy on the lead page. So that has been my experience. So yeah, so that is what I have today for your compelling copy. And tomorrow, like I said, we will be getting into the superior structure so that you can actually see what the layouts of these lead pages should look like. And I have some really good examples of lead pages that have really done really well. And I'm going to show you some lead pages, and I may even pull out one of my lead pages. I haven't decided yet that I really bombed. I don't know if I want to show you my failures or not, but I may even pull one of those out. So it is one of them that when I was just starting, I was like, I just didn't understand the value of, I was like, well, if they said they wanted it and they read my Facebook ad or they read my Facebook post in one of the groups and they clicked there, they just need to give me their name and email, but it doesn't work that way. You have to have your lead page looking good, and that way it'll convert. So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow, and that'll be live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of us that are doing this live, and for those that are getting this as a course, as an email course, it'll be in your inbox tomorrow. So I thank you guys for attending, and hope you guys have a great day.